That's all you'd have to do. Just that quick. Just cut and drop. Got your garden cleaned up. Sad to see the peppers go, but that's just part of gardening. Today is Saturday, and you know what we do on Saturday. We go to you and we celebrate what's going on in your garden. I know everybody's garden's winding down, and we've got a swath of cold weather coming down through. It's gonna make it almost to the top of Florida. So I hope you're prepared. The nice thing about cleanup in a deep mulch garden is we're just gonna cut and drop. That's all it takes. This is a volunteer tomato that came up on its own. We went ahead and added this little trellis to keep it up. We got a lot of tomatoes off of this one. But really, this is as easy as it is. You just cut and drop. We've got a contributor that just moved to North Carolina, starting a new deep mulch garden. You know, they said that the neighbor said, you're never gonna grow anything that way. But here's the deal. We do this because we know it works. Sometimes gardening may seem like a solo activity, but we do it because the stuff tastes great. I guarantee you, everybody that scoffs is gonna enjoy what you produce. Now, Landy said she couldn't wait to plant. The place she bought was overgrown with trees, and her son-in-law came and helped her clear out a patch. She's got a plan. Let's go ahead and take a look at her new setup. Now, Landy's new setup is kind of on a slope. It's not near as dramatic as the one picture shows. But just like us, you'll be able to put your compost at the top and allow that life to migrate down through there. It'll just help out the garden. Landy, this is an excellent setup. Thank you for sharing. Now remember, when you're doing this, just cut it off at the ground and leave those roots in. That's part of the living soil. The more roots we can have in the soil, the better it's gonna be for the life. And that life is what feeds your plants. And there you go, one more tomato cleaned up. The Swiss chard's been taking the cold weather really well. We're gonna go ahead and clean up these basil. It's the same thing. Just clip them off at the ground. Cut them into some smaller pieces. The only reason I'm cutting them into smaller pieces is so they don't get caught on my toe as I walk through here. Well, while I work on this, let's go ahead and see what Mike and Linda have been feasting on over Thanksgiving. Mike and Linda's deep mulch garden's been thriving. Right now, they've got cabbages, they've got greens, and they've got onions. And since they've been using the deep mulch, they've been eating out of their garden continuously. This is wonderful, Mike. Linda, thanks for sharing. Leave a comment below and let everybody know how much you appreciate them sharing what's going on in their garden. And I invite you to become a member of this community. There's no obligation. You just send in a photo now and again and let us celebrate the successes you're having in your garden. Guarantee you, all of the gardeners would love to see what you're doing. And this is where we get ideas, motivation, and inspiration to come out here by ourselves on a nice, cool fall afternoon and clean up the dead vines. But with the cut and drop, it makes it pretty easy. I'm gonna let this dry a little bit more. It makes it easier to come off of the trellis. Ooh, these leaves stick. Yeah, one thing about pole beans, their leaves definitely stick. And it really doesn't take very long to transform your garden. Got quite a little bit more to take down, then we're going to go ahead and bring in some more mulch. Don't forget to water in the winter. Your cold frames, they warm up when you have that plastic over, and the cold air dries things out really fast. If you've ever had itchy skin, you know what I'm talking about. If you want to have a successful winter garden, make sure these plants stay hydrated. I intend to be eating turnips at Christmas. Beets and carrots late January, early February. And then the cabbages ought to be coming on real good. For everybody that stayed with me this long, got a date you need to mark down. December 6th. It's gonna be a red letter day in my garden. Well, I've been asked a whole bunch of times if I have a book. And on December 6th, I'll be able to say, yes, I've got a book. How to build healthy soil and eliminate most weeds. Now, if you've been following my story, you kind of have an idea of what that's gonna be about. But I've kind of condensed it all down into one easy to read. It's a small book, but it might be worth your while. Basically, it tells why a deep mulch garden works the way it works. And it might be a great Christmas gift to give to somebody that wants to learn how to garden, or an experienced gardener that wants to know why things work the way they work. It won't come out till January 6th, and then I'll talk a little bit more about that when that happens. But I'm pretty excited. We hit that publish button, and it kind of made me queasy. I've never written anything, so be nice to me. Cleaning up the garden doesn't have to happen all at once. Do a little at a time. I'm just about to the point where I got the one side where we can bring mulch in, working on this a little bit. But I'm in no hurry. Winter's 21 days away. The planting's right around the corner. You can do this too. Until next time, remember, take care of yourself, take care of your family, and God bless you. Come on, let's plant.
Let's go plant garden.